Hello, mathematicians. So I just wanted to show you a little bit if you wanted to do some practice over the summer. So there is one more unit that we didn't quite get to in second grade math this year, and it has to do with geometry. So I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit. This is kind of a fun unit. So I'm kind of bummed that we didn't get to it, but this is also something you could totally do at your house. And it's kind of fun to do with your family and finding objects around your house. Um, so this has to do with three-dimensional shapes. So you're all familiar with regular shapes, circles, squares, rectangles, things like that. But with this one, we're going to learn about some three-dimensional shapes. In other words, shapes that you can see behind and under and on top of. So I kind of just wanted to walk you through a couple things. When we're talking about geometric shapes or three-dimensional shapes, we talk about faces. And a face is just kind of a surface. So, or you could also think of it as a side of the shape. So, for example, I have my water bottle here, and the bottom of my water bottle has a flat face. And the side of my water bottle has a curved face, so it has a curve around it. All right. So you might want to look around your house and see if you can identify, are there curved shapes on some different objects or flat faces? And this is just kind of a little practice identifying some curved and flat faces. There's a tissue or Kleenex box. I'm sure you have one of those at home. You could try to count the number of faces on it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a good challenge because it can be tricky because um, you try to not count the same side twice. That's kind of the tricky part. Ooh, maybe you've had an ice cream cone lately. It has a curved face and kind of a flat face there. All right. Then we are identifying some objects. And this one here, maybe you know what this is called. It has a circle and a circle, so two flat faces and a curved face. This is called a cylinder. So a cylinder, and that would be the shape of like my water bottle too. My water bottle is kind of a taller cylinder shape. All right, then we have one of these, and this has triangles on the side, and then it has kind of rectangles around the outside. And that one is a triangular prism. So that's kind of neat. This one, again, kind of like the shape of a tissue box, has some rectangles all the way around it. It's called a rectangular prism. And then this one, like we saw on the other page, this one's called a cone. All right, then we have a few more objects. Oh, here, this one's a cube. It has all square faces. Well, they're also helping us to see when the faces or the sides come together, that's called an edge. And then the point is called the vertex. So a point, I kind of like to think of a point as sort of a corner. And there is the vertex. All right. There is a prism. There's a couple different kinds of prisms. Here's a triangular prism, a rectangular prism. Let's see, what else do we have? Ooh, we have some pyramids. So if it has a square on the bottom, it's called a square pyramid. And if it has a triangle on the bottom, it's called a triangular prism. So you might have some of these around your house. And this one reminds me of the Egyptian pyramids. So those are kind of neat. All right, there's the cylinder. There's a cone. Oh, here's another fun one. A ball shape is called a sphere. Ooh, phonogram there, sphere. And again, we don't really have too much time to do this, but I just kind of wanted to show you because there's some fun activities in here. So if you, what you could do is cut some shapes and then try to make some different shapes with them. So this activity says that you could cut 4 triangles or draw 4 triangles of the same size. And then if you cut them out, and you can make some different shapes with those triangles. And that's kind of fun. All right. So again, we are not, and then there's some pattern work. That's kind of fun to do, some patterns. And guess that's about it. This page is kind of fun. Maybe I'll take a picture of this one and include it in our assignment. Um, so what comes next in the pattern? So these, you can see they're all squares and they all have 3 green ones and 1 pink square. So 1/4 are pink and 3/4 are green. And then maybe you can think about, well, what's the pattern? So you'll notice that the pattern has something to do with the pink squares. So you could try to figure out, oh, what's the next one in the pattern? Okay, so kind of some fun activities. And then in our workbook, we did not get to this last unit, but this is something you could definitely do if you have some time over the summer. So matching some shapes. Let's see. Oh, this is talking about what shape do you see here? This would be like, well, I see a rectangle. This is the face of a rectangle. See how they've shaded each one. This face is a square shape. So this one is just identifying the different faces. This is a circle shape. Now here, this is trying to identify the number of flat faces and the number of curved faces. A little bit of matching here. Oh, and this one has to do with how many faces, and faces are also called surfaces. That's kind of the same. So how many surfaces on a rectangular prism? Well, let's see, I know there's 1, 2, there's one here, and there's another one behind it, so that's 2. And then I'm pretty sure there's 4 around the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this one there would be 6 surfaces. How many edges? So the edges are where the surfaces come together. So I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think this one there's 12 edges. So the edge would be kind of that line there when where they come together. I think there's 12. And then the vertices are the little points here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one would be 8. So the challenge here is to try to count the number of surfaces, edges, and vertices without actually having the object in your hand to hold it and see it. So that's kind of the good challenge with this one. Ooh, now this one is fun. So if you wanted to, you could trace this shape on a piece of paper. And usually we do this in class and it's pretty fun. And then you cut out the pieces and you try to see if you can make some different shapes with those 4 pieces. So that's kind of fun to cut them out and then you can rearrange them and try to make this shape. You can also make this shape. This one's usually kind of tricky for students. So try to make this one and also this one. And all of these shapes can be made with 4 of these. So before you do this activity, you have to get another piece of paper and kind of trace it. And then you can cut that out. Let's see. You might have to hold it up to like a window or something. So if I were going to trace this, I might put a little piece of paper. And then if you hold it up to a window, and you can see, usually you can see it enough to trace. And then you're going to cut out 4 of those. So that is kind of a fun activity. Here's some more kind of patterns and some different shape making with these different. So yeah, I just wanted to show you a few things that you could work on this summer. This one has to do with patterns. And then there are a couple of review activities that you could work on when you have some time. This would be a really good idea to help you prepare for 3rd grade. You could also work on some of the map at home activities in the very back of your workbook. So maybe not right now, students, but if you have some time, maybe take a little break. And then when you have some time or you're starting to feel a little bit bored this summer, open up your math workbook and see, hey, do I have some stuff that I could work on? And I hope you have a fabulous summer. I will miss all of you, and I am excited that I will get to see you as you walk by my classroom and go to 3rd grade. Make sure you say hi, give me an elbow, and yeah, have a wonderful summer, mathematicians. I'll miss you. Bye.